to win her first tournament. And I think we better square you away right now about this tournament we love so much at Mahwah. It does not count on the Women's Tennis Association rankings or in their professional standing. It is known in the business as a special event. But that doesn't mean that people aren't playing hard. I would think, Joanne Russell, that when Steffi Graf plays against Jennifer Capriati, they treat it as a very difficult occasion.
Well, I think so, because women's tennis, we don't have that many special events.
No, it's not like men's, where you never know whether they're... men's tennis sometimes gets like professional wrestling. You never know what's on the level.
Exactly. In women's tennis, they are so happy to see a special event where it doesn't count and there's lots of money. People are trying like crazy in these matches. Plus, this is right before the U.S. Open. And if you can win a match that against someone you haven't beaten before, that's that little extra confidence you're going to take into the next tournament.
There goes the coin, flipped by umpire Jim Dunlap, a right-handed flipper. You have seen some left-handed umpires. Graf decides, whoever won the toss decided on a side, I believe, but we don't know unless Dunlap announces it. You have several choices that a lot of people don't realize. You can choose twins. They were Thomas the left-hander, Tim the right-hander. They were Wimbledon finalists in doubles. Certainly the finest players ever to come out of Onalaska, Wisconsin, and had very good professional careers. Now both are coaching. Tim Gullickson coached Martina Navratilova for a season. Chair umpire is Jim Dunlap, who is in charge of the umpires and lines people here, and he knows his stuff. The place is full. This is an attendance record for Bergen County for tennis. 5,112 spectators. And here goes Steffi Graf looking for a fourth title, the Pathmark Final.
Already you can see Jennifer Capriati at the baseline. She is playing on the baseline or inside, trying to take the ball on the rise and not let Graf dictate the play.
30 love.
In yesterday's match against Leila Meshki, Steffi Graf tried topspin backhand a lot more and came in a lot more.
Ace.
Ace. So we'll just have to wait and see if she is going to use those tactics against Jennifer Capriati.
Steffi had 4 aces against Meshki yesterday. Graf has the opening game of the match on this hard court in Mahwah, New Jersey.
It's been a very good year for me, and I've gained a lot of experience, and I've just, you know, mainly I got to play in like a Grand Slam, and just mainly the experience. I've gained a lot of it.
Now I know Tom Gullickson has worked on Jennifer playing so fast because, you know, she serves one ball and she has the ball out before the ball boy has time to pick up the ball.
They both play it fast.
Right, and not to rush.
Love. game, Capriati.
One game all.
One all.
Graf has played 8 tournaments this year. She's won 5. Her match record is 42-3. And she's on a 10-match winning streak.
But Steffi Graf hits the ball hard, harder than most people on the tour. And you see how she gets Capriati out of court and sets it up so she either has a cross court or down the line to put it away.
15 love. Ace number 2.
30 love.
And Jennifer mentioned in her interview that she has trouble with Steffi Graf's slice, so we might see more of that slice. And Graf really gets a lot of pace and a lot of bite on that ball.
It's very tough on the two-handed backhand.
It definitely is, because they have trouble getting underneath the ball with that two hands. Great movement of the ball by Graf. She moves Capriati all around the court, and this is an identical copy of the point before.
Second serve, 40-15. And the first double of the day. About as pleasant as a tennis bay can be. The green hills, the Ramapo Hills behind the stadium. This is genuinely, we have a lot of fun with Mahwah, but this is genuinely one of the nicest locations for tennis in the world.
Jennifer Capriati to stay in that point. Steffi Graf had her on the ropes there, and she was the one who made the error.
Deuce from 40-15. Net cord. Break point.
Advantage Capriati.
It's long, and Jennifer Capriati has drawn the first service break. 2-1 for her. We'll be right back. Capriati eliminated Zina Garrison, although Zina will play Meshki in a third-place match.
Whoa, that was a great return of serve by Steffi Graf. Graf does not let up on any ball. A lot of players get nervous, return a serve, not Graf. She steps in and belts it.
Love 40.
Steffi Graf moves the ball around so well. She disguised her backhand drop shot. Look how Capriati's so close to the net. Then whomp, forehand cross-court winner.
1, 2, 3 break points against Jenny. Whoa.
15-40.
I'd say that was great defense by Capriati. Nice short backswing. She just punches it down the line, and Graf had run around that, so she was way out of position.
15-40. 30-40.
30-40. Game Graf.
So they're even at 2 games all.
2-all.
Mm.
15 love.
She hits her forehand like that. She reminds me of John Newcomb. Triple Wimbledon champion some time ago.
30 love.
Actually, I'd like this match to be really close, go a long time, because I'd like to see how the stamina of both these players are if they went into a third set. That would be interesting to see.
Do you suspect their stamina?
Maybe Jennifer's, just because she's younger. And the thing is, when a player is playing Steffi Graf, you run a lot. There's no hitting back down the middle for Graf. She has you off the court, and you're scrambling, recovering, just trying to stay in the point. And Jennifer Capriati is putting everything she has behind each of those balls.
Whoa.
And I said, she puts everything behind it. She gets the backswing. Notice how she gets her body into that ball, whips through it. It's a lot of power.
40-15
For service.
just wide, and Steffi Graf has the lead again, although they are even on serve. 3 games to 2. Probably the most important title of her career, although she did win Wimbledon in 1977. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you, Bud. I tell you, any win is a very important win.
That's what Stein said. A win is a win is a win. That was Maury Stein, who played fullback at Brandeis.
Love 15.
Yeah, the thing about when you're playing Steffi Graf is, you know, you can't have one weak shot because she pounces on everything. You know, you think you may have like a little decent shot in there. Forget it. If it's short, you're dead.
15 all.
So right, but you know, it's always the difficulty always is if somebody does well against her for a set, is sort of keeping it up because you get so exhausted just by the effort.
Got the
Ooh,
line.
Unbelievable shot. They're both playing well, aren't they?
30.
Absolutely. And look at Graf. She's out of the court. She's facing the net. She uses all arm and whips that on the line for a winner.
15-30.
That is one strong German Fraulein over there.
And break point.
15-14.
And do you think Capriati is now like trying to keep up with the pace of Graf? I mean, do you think she's overhitting a little bit?
Well, I think she actually likes the pace. I was actually thinking a few games ago that Steffi should mix it up a bit. Problem is Steffi tends to get ahead in games and lose a few points. So let's just see here. She's got the break point.
That's long.
There's one gone. It's something that has slipped into Steffi's game, I think, is that when she gets ahead, she tends to lose a tiny bit of concentration. And the game when her serve was broken, she was 45 up. And you know, it's hard to fault her, but you tend to be hyper picky on a player who's this good.
Yes.
So Steffi Graf steps ahead 4 games to 2 on another service break.
I really like that Virginia said hyper picky of a player this good, and it's true, because anybody else you'd be saying, well, you know, it was just a good point, but Graf here shows she's just knocking the cover off the ball. And this is what Olga Morozova was here yesterday. She said Graf is really using this a lot more, coming in and taking advantage of the short ball in the air.
Ace number 3 for Graf.
And to serve, she seems to have got her rhythm back, because once in a while you feel she just collapses on the first, you know, with that high toss, and then she just falls down on it when she hits it.
Net cord. No.
30.
Now, Leila Meshki played Graf perfectly yesterday, except she collapsed at 4-3 and 5-4 when she had to serve. Her serve just was not good at that point. But her game plan, I thought, was a little better than Capriati's here.
It's wide.
30.
Well, the thing that Meskey was doing so well, I was listening to you and watching it yesterday evening and enjoyed that, Joanne and Bud and Olga.
Thank you.
But she seemed to take the ball on the rise so well and then change angles
That's
very
it.
easily.
She used the angles, and that's what Selish does against Graf. Man, she really gets Graf off the court with an angle that has a lot of pace on it.
Steffi just missed that forehand into the net, and you know, it was an effort to go down the line. She says that when she's more confident, she can hit the down the line forehand better. And there is definitely a tendency, I noticed, for her to go cross court almost too much. And you know, which side would you say was Jennifer's better side?
Her backhand.
Really?
I really think her backhand is, because I've seen her in matches where she's gotten tired and her forehand goes off a bit. That's what I was saying. I would like this match to go long, because I'd like to see how her stamina is for the U.S. Open.
Just started.
Wide, a groan from the crowd.
Because I was thinking that it seems fairly obvious that Steffi's trying to play her forehand today. But her forehand looks incredibly good, Jennifer's. She's handling the slice well.
And the thing is, the other day in practice, she hit her forehand very well. That's when,
Ace number 4. And Steffi, I think, will just keep walking.
Very close, wasn't it, again? But I think it was out.
Graf leads 5 games to 2.
And umpire Jim Dunlap calls 5-2 for Graf. He lives with the call, he confirms it, and he shouldn't overrule it. He's too far from that line. And so it is 5-2 for Steffi Graf. And that's what it'll be when we come back to Mahwah. Surfboard, I'd like to hear more about that. Jennifer Capriati, 2-5.
15 love.
Now, Virginia, you were sitting courtside before you came up to the booth. What's the difference between sitting down there and up high in the stands, or where we are up in the booth?
It's so much fun to change during a match. You know, the thing you see so well from low down is actually the speed when they hit the ball, whether it's out in front, a bit more technical.
It's wide. I didn't think she had a chance to come near that top spin lob.
There's a little bit of wind holding that ball, and it bounces a little bit lower there. And exactly for the same reason, this ball carries out because the wind catches it. But a good get from Jennifer. But just trying to continue that idea, if you want to watch strategy, you should always go as high up and behind the court as you can, and you see it perfectly.
Net court.
Ooh. I think I've seen Steffi miss more balls like that than any other ball. I mean, and that's the easy one. That's the put away.
Well, 2 days ago when we had a lot of rain, we showed the 88 final, and she was awesome. She didn't really miss much. It was 0-1 against Natalie Tozia. And she didn't try any of those things in that final. And, you know, 88 was one of those dream years. That was the year she won the Grand Slam and the Olympics. And it's tough to duplicate that kind of year, although everyone expected it. Like she was going to win a Grand Slam every year.
The development of a tennis player is actually fascinating to watch. They all have their ups and downs, however good they are.
Game Capriati.
5-3 for Graf.
You know, that was a bad game from Steffi, and again,
Graf leads
it's
5-3.
happened a little bit as she's got herself into a lead and then gets a little bit sloppy.
And she gets sloppy on her forehand. Like we all know, okay, she goes for the ball, but she's not making those kind of misses. Before, it was like she'd miss by a foot or an inch, and now it's like hits the backstop or goes in the bottom of the net.
That's a pretty good serve.
15 love.
You know, you feel sometimes as if Steffi's like not just one pedigree horse, like a whole stack of them, and she has to really hold the reins in to control it, which she is very good at doing, but she really wants to just let loose and go crazy, and that's what she was doing in 88, and everything just went like magic.
Everything went in. But one thing she really doesn't do is like she volleys and she stays in the same place. Whereas, you know, if you watch a great volleyer like yourself, Martina Navratilova, you hit the volley and you move in closer to the net. You know, because if you stay back, Graf, she's too good. She uses all that room you give her to pass you.
You have to recover so fast from the first volley.
30-15.
Double fault for Graf.
And this is just the good serve she served her 2 points ago. Nice and smooth, slow at the beginning, that hesitation. Then she launches herself at it. In fact, if it wasn't just for the extra 2 foot on the toss, it would probably be what you'd term a perfect serve.
30-15. And set point.
40-15.
And I think the only reason Steffi mishit that ball was it seemed to slide off the line. It does sometimes happen even on a hard court.
Oops. And the first set goes to Steffi Graf.
New ball, please.
As she's halfway to her Pathmark Classic champ. Always nice to see her.
Quiet, please.
The winner, as was Joanne Russell, of the Centenary Championship, as they say.
Boy, 77 was our year.
100th anniversary championship. Wade won the singles, Russell won the doubles.
15 love.
But you noticed in the first set, Steffi Graf was using that drop shot. She used the same play 3 times to bring Capriati up to the net.
Pull them in when they're not comfortable.
Yeah, and then Graf, boy, she's got those reactions. She just passes you right. She loves a target. Now, all those backhands of Graf's. Slice backhand, they had pace, but they were not as hard as her other backhands. It's like that little change of pace, throws her forehand off. I'll tell you what, that wasn't a change of pace. She just knocked the cover off that ball and nails it on the line.
30-15.
Both of these players love pace. Graf smashes a forehand, Capriati hits it back harder. That is a very good second serve.
Capriati has played 8 tournaments in achieving a number 12 world ranking. Got to 2 finals, lost them, and she's won 32 of 40 matches. What a debut on the world circuit. She was the youngest finalist in the history of the French Open, where she lost to the eventual champion, Monica Seles. Whoops.
Deuce.
So from 40-15 to deuce on her first double fault.
It's a bad time to double fault. It's always a bad time, but especially when you've been working really hard to win a game and you're up 40-15, then you got one more shot, 40-30, double fault.
And you're trying to reestablish yourself in the first game of the second set.
Exactly. You know, but isn't it strange? Yesterday, Olga Morozova brings up the fact she's seen Steffi try 3 things in a match against Leila Meshki, and Steffi is not using her topspin backhand, and she's only come to the net once.
So she was trying things yesterday, which she felt she could do against Meshki, and she doesn't feel she can do here. Nope.
Deuce.
Second deuce.
Oh, yes.
And a break point.
Capriati comes in, and it's a nice volley, but look, it doesn't have the depth on it. Graf, no hurry, just passes her down the line.
So, opening game of second set, and Steffi Graf has the lead. She'll be serving. We'll be right back.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Now, whether we've got some designer water being sold by promoter John Korf, I don't know.
Love 15.
13th year. The leading women of the world have come to this spot. This year, the Pathmark Classic.
Oh, 15 all.
And they've come from all over today. I mentioned Jim Sarney of the Fort Lauderdale Sun-Sentinel, but Kelly Carter's here from the Dallas Morning News. Lisa Dillman from the National, the Sporting Daily. Al Picker, the dean of all American tennis writers, here from the Newark Star-Ledger.
Yes.
Oh!
Now, Steffi Graf comes to net on this, and she hits a short ball on the approach shot, and Jennifer Capriati, always ready, quick little feet, passes her very easily.
15-30.
30 all.
I see Rich Finn is here, too, from USA Today. And Jack Kavanaugh covering for the New York Times. Everybody getting ready for the U.S. Open that begins tomorrow at Flushing Meadow. The final major tournament of the season. And it's been an interesting season. Each of the 3 previous majors going to different players. Capriati.
No, but you forget that Jennifer Capriati, when you watch her play, how young she is, but she really can play the net. Not very many 14-year-olds play the net as well as she does.
Or at all. Here's the break point. Well, Jenny climbs back into the second set, and Graf was a little annoyed there. 1 game all.
1 all.
Well, one thing about Jennifer Capriati, 14 years old, she didn't get to number 12 in the world by just laying down and dying because she lost the first set. I mean, she is used to making a comeback, that's for sure.
She's a fighter. She's fought throughout all the matches we've seen her this year.
15 love.
And she's also fought throughout all the matches, and she has a tremendous amount of pressure on her. You know, I'm sure Steffi Graf thinks, oh, no one can have as much pressure as I have. It's not true.
And Jennifer's handling it well. With her mother, Denise Capriati, her father, Stefano. One of the things that delighted Jennifer most was playing for the United States in the Federation Cup in Atlanta. She won all 5 of her matches as the United States won the World Women's Team Championship. Got it.
Graf this time gives Capriati a short ball. She comes in, she's got the preparation, and she bangs it for a winner.
It's 30-15.
That was a great drop shot, and that's the 4th time Graf has used the backhand cross court, the little drop shot there, and Jennifer looked a little tired running up there. She has done a lot of running.
Big point right here for Capriati. Loses her serve to start the second set, loses the first set. Now she has a point for a 2-1 lead, and she can go sit down. Because she has done a lot of moving.
Deuce.
Rushed that.
For service.
And a break point. Net cord? No. Didn't do enough with the first volley, and Graf has a service break lead again. 2-1 in the second.
2-1 second set.
3 of the 4 majors. She couldn't have played the Australian under Women's Tennis Association rules. She wasn't old enough at that point. Boom!
Love 15.
Some people have felt that perhaps she's played too much this year. I've been one who has voiced concerns, but her father feels Stefano Capriati watches her very closely. He says, I have to combine being a coach and a father, and when the father feels she's had too much, I tell the coach, that's it. And he said, but I think I know my daughter better than anyone. So I know he's a conscientious father, so we just hope it goes well.
30-15.
And there is Stefano Capriati on the right, and his wife, Denise, the mother of Jennifer, mother and father. Son Steve is here too. Service winner for Graf.
The place where I saw Capriati look the most tired I have ever seen her was at Lipton. And she couldn't even run in one minute. I think she lost to Natalie Harriman.
That's correct.
French woman. And she was hitting balls so far out. I mean, her feet were not even moving. And that's when she went back to school after that, took time off.
Well, that debut at Boca Raton had been such high pressure. She went all the way to the final, playing well, but losing to Gabriella Sabatini. The press crush was unbelievable, so she had to just step back and realize life was not going to be that easy, and she handles it very well, very good-naturedly. Better than anyone of that age has done, I think. Net cord, it goes for the champion. 3-1 for Steffi.
She leads 3-1.
Steffi's lost only one match on this court. That was the 1985 final to Kathy Rinaldi. Otherwise, she's won in 86, 88, 89, and has a winning lead here. Capriati, of course, has not played here before. This is her rookie year as a pro. And there's a prospective fourth-round match at the U.S. Open between these two. It could happen if they win their way that far.
Now, Bud, it's been almost an hour, like 55 minutes, and Capriati's getting a little tired. If you just watch her forehand, she's hit a few hard ones, but there's a few more loops in there now than there were at the beginning of this match.
Woo!
Great second serve.
What a fine second serve. Graf, of course, will be seeded #1 at the U.S. Open, and she will play a qualifier. Identity unknown. Now, I tell you, Jennifer Capriati has a tough first-round match. She plays that young German phenom, Anke Huber.
Anke is very, very good.
Yeah.
She can really slug the ball.
Capriati is seeded 13th at the Open.
But what I was saying is Capriati's forehand is always much better at the start of the match, and she's been running a lot. Steffi Graf has used the drop shot very well against her. She's getting tired, and it breaks down. You know, her backhand technique is perfect.
It's fine. There's double fault #2 and 2 more break points. A guy I respect a lot in this game said to me the other night, he saw Capriati for the first time. He said, I'm not so impressed. I said, my goodness, she's only 14 years old. Look at this record. Gee. I mean, so she does do a few things.
But the thing is, Steffi Graf came on tour when she was 13 years old, and Graf, I'm sure, did not have this kind of pressure, or she was never in this position when she was 13 or 14.
No, nobody knew her. A few people in Germany.
I saw her playing when she was 10.
first service.
Did you really?
Yes, I did, and I called up my manager, Phil DiPicciano, and I said, Phil, I can't believe I saw this girl 10 years old. I hope I'm dead by the time she comes on the door.
Well, she got out of 2 breakers.
Yeah, I saw Steffi when she was 10, and she could hit it. Of course, she was hitting in the backstop, in the roof, in the net, but she had talent at 10 years old. A lot of talent.
No.
Whoa, yes.
You've got to hit a better volley against Graf because she'll eat you up with her legs.
Absolutely. You know that old adage, speed kills. And look at Graf. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's right over there. Think.
Third break
Angles.
point.
Out.
So Jennifer, hanging by her fingernails, has a game point for the first time in this game, having repelled 3 break points. But it's only 3-2, could have been 4-1. We'll be right back.
Graf.
3 games to 2. Graf leads 6-3, 3-2. Steffi Graf tomorrow will enter her 158th consecutive week at #1 in the world rankings. That breaks Martina Navratilova's record of 157.
You know, but if you look at Steffi Graf's record, when she was 14 years old, she only played 2 Grand Slams, the Australian and the French, and she only got to the first round in the Australian and the second round of the French. So if you really want to judge Capriati, wait until she, gets to be about the same age as Graf was when she won all those Grand Slams.
I don't think there's any doubt we're watching the best 14-year-old player in history.
Absolutely. Some people.
So I don't want people to expect too much. She's
Right.
thrown herself into the professional arena, so she must be judged as a professional. Nevertheless, she is 14.
Good get.
$15.30.
And Graf is starting to become a little more aggressive going into net on a few more balls.
30 all.
Steffi Graf with 5 aces and 5 service winners. So from love 30, 40-30.
I think Steffi Graf has a great forehand, but it is not a forehand. If you were watching TV and said, I've got to copy that forehand, you couldn't.
No.
It takes great athletic ability and great timing.
It's distinctive.
There's the shot.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
4-2.
But that was the 4th time that Graf used that little backhand drop shot cross court to bring Capriati in. And here she is. You can see she's got that little split step, and she just goes back down the line. She whips it up. Goes back behind Capriati for the winner.
4-2 for the receiver, Steffi Graf, as the net judge, Judy Fortescue-Popkin, catches a left.
Love 15.
There she is. She's from the New Zealand branch of the Fortescue family. Judy Popkin. It's wide, and hustle paid off again for Capriati.
15 all.
Capriati is just saying these points. Sheer stick-to-itiveness. She's just making some gets on some balls, and Graf can't believe it.
Wide.
Yeah, it was wide.
Yes.
15-30.
You hear the groans from the crowd. Of course, they want Jenny to take it into a third set.
Absolutely. They don't want this to stop.
Net cord, no.
30 all.
Net cord for Jennifer.
And Bud, did you hear Graf? She was in the middle of her forehand, and she said, stupid.
Yep. Well, it's a strange set in that Capriati trails 4-2, but she's had a game point in every single game but one. Whoa! Now it's 4-3 for Steffi Graf. And Capriati used to be a tournament on Maui, but no more.
Love 15.
But Mahwah is venerable. Graf ahead on winners.
Ooh. Capriati had a good shot there because Graf let that ball bounce in front of her. Let her get back in the point.
Ace-6.
30, 15.
Capriati won't be the only 14-year-old in the Open. Chanda Rubin from Lafayette, Louisiana, got a wild card from the USTA and is playing Catherine Kuhlman in the first round. She's 14. Rubin. Oh boy, that is great.
That is number 6. Steffi has won 5 out of 6 points. And how this one worked, look how short the drop shot is. Capriati's way out of our picture, and Graf has 3/4 of the court to hit into.
40-15.
Okay,
5-3 for Graf.
5-3.
And so Capriati stands in match game against herself.
You know, Bud, they're always talking in golf about course management. Well, I always think about tennis and Graf and whatever. She has great court management. Talking about moving the player around to open up the court so you have an easy shot. And really, that's what Steffi does.
Love 15.
She can obviously open it a lot faster than other players because she hits the ball so hard.
Ball.
Graf was 16, her first final here at Mahwah. 2 years older than Capriati. Graf didn't win either.
30-15.
Losing to Kathy Rinaldi.
Ooh, that was on the line. I swear, I think that was the first topspin backhand Graf's hit this match.
I think you're right. Long. It went through as though it were an ace, but it was about 6 inches long. She's a step behind. Not quite certain of her.
Well, you know, right, but when you do approach cross court, that you're taking a chance. I mean, it is a little more of a percentage play when you go down the line. They just have a lot more room when you go cross court. They can pick and choose.
Deuce, and Graf is 2 points from the title. It is match point.
Advantage Graf.
Pavel Slozel, the coach of Steffi Graf, is approving, of course.
Thank you.
Well, one match point vanishes. Second deuce. Good hook serve.
Advantage Capriati.
Capriati, who had 40-15, has another game point. And the game! So, Jennifer resists. It will be up to Steffi to serve for the title when we return. 5-4. Boca Raton, Florida. But she's in the soup right here because she's up against number one, a woman who has been number one for 3 years. Steffi Graf, and Graf leads 6-3, 5-4. Match game. She already missed out on one match point. Full house, 51-12 is the attendance. I'm told that by Stormin Norman Korf, who's the troubleshooter around here and gives us the attendance every day. 51-12. Net cord will not go.
Capriati reads Steffi Graf's forehand really well. And there's Graf moving over to her forehand, and Capriati plays behind her for the winner.
Love 30, love 40, triple breaker.
Love 40.
Well, this is where Capriati's really got to concentrate, because she wants to win this point, not one at 40-15 or 40-30.
Fault called by Suki Greer. The ball very close to the service line, but Suki is on that line. I have to accept her word for it. Ooh, she went.
15-40.
That was a heck of a second serve by Graf. Now, that's the thing she's been working on, her second serve. She's put more spin on it. You know, she gets a little more kick on it.
Still break point.
Yeah.
5 games all.
Capriati, 5-all.
And once again, Jennifer Capriati just played a magnificent point at 15-40. Graf goes up the line, and it was a good approach shot. She is covering the right way, but shades to the forehand side, and Capriati
She
goes
looked for cross court.
right. Cross court was the shot she's looking for.
As Capriati often does that. Well, it's 5 games all in the second set. Graf won the first set, 6-3. She had a match point 2 games ago against Capriati's serve, but since then it's been all Capriati. Still a Graf lead, however. 6-3, 5-all. Why do you think Graf keeps shaking her left hand? Is that to relax herself?
It does. Zina Garrison was doing it last night. Either she was shaking her bracelet down or trying to shake out her wrist. Oh, yeah, number 7 for Steffi Graf.
So it's the old come on, Joanne.
Well, you know what it is? She is exploiting the two-handed backhand of Capriati and the fact that she uses a wide body. It's tough to get that under a low ball. Oh, great get.
It looked as if Capriati had the edge on surprise with that sneak volley, but no.
Oh, yeah, it was a very sweet volley by Capriati. She moves into the ball. She's covering the right spot, but Graf just uses her wrist and whips that ball. That ball was like 2 inches from the line.
Just too good. 30 all from 30 love.
Graf is so smart. You know, she's using the fact that Capriati is 5'6". She comes into net, and Graf makes her leap up, use the one-handed backhand, and she has the open court for the winner.
So it's break point.
I think Graf's a little upset that people are like oohing and eyeing in the middle of the point, and the ball was right on the line.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she doesn't like. You know, like, please, at least give me a shot here to win the point.
It is deuce. So Capriati repelling another break point.
It's out.
Advantage, Capriati.
This is the perils of Jenny. She was down a match point in the 9th game. Saved it. broke in the 10th game for 5-all, was down a break point in this, the 11th game, and now has advantage. She got the corner and has so Jennifer Capriati at defeat's door 2 games ago, match point against her, now has a 6-5 lead, and the burden is on Steffi Graf. It's up to Graf to save her way into a tiebreaker, Joanne.
It sure is. Capriati, you know, I like it. She's missed a lot of volleys. She's been passed every which way you could be passed. She's been lobbed over, down the line, cross court. But this girl has something special. She's banging it out from the baseline, and she knows Graf is going to bring her in. So, hey, she says, I'm coming it. Here I am. And she makes a great little angle touch volley, because if she doesn't make this volley, it's Steffi Graf's point.
And what a volley, because she was really 2 steps behind where she should have been. She had to lunge for it. So this set either goes to Capriati 7-5 or they go into a breaker. In the match, 6-3, 5-6. Ooh!
Yes.
Love 15.
Ace number 7. That's a big total for 2 sets. Capriati is 2 points from parity.
Well, usually what happens is a lot of players play well in the first set against Graf, you know, hanging in there, playing some good points, but then mentally and physically they're so tired the second set they don't hit a deep ball.
And here is set point for Capriati. The young woman who resisted a match point.
Out.
There it goes. This match is dead even.
Second set, 7-5. Keep your seats, please. One more game. Capriati to serve, final set.
1 set to go for the title. We've got Mahwah Madness.
Oh, that is 7 out of 8. Steffi Graf has won on that little drop shot. And the only time she didn't win one on that point was when the drop shot went a little too deep. That is a great shot, bringing Capriati in like that.
Wide.
15 all.
Oh, yes.
15-30.
You know, it's so funny. You're serving well, playing some good points, you know, making points off of Graf's forehand, and you think you can sneak one in there. Boom, she hits a winner.
15-40.
So break points against Jenny, nothing new. One of those break points was a match point in the second set.
Good get.
And again, hustle.
30-40.
delivers for Capriati.
Right,
She was out of that point.
She was out of that point, and Graf let her get back in the point twice. By Capriati's lobs were not that deep. Graf could have just taken that in the air.
This is the second break point. And break.
Okay, Graf, first game, final set.
Breaking on top again, but it doesn't seem to make any difference to Capriati because she just rebounds. Let's review. Graf was the first to lose serve in the third game of the match. But very seldom.
You know, I'd like to see what her ground strokes look like in a tough third set. And Capriati, she's 14. You know, you've got to see what she's got, you know, whether she's got some stamina.
Last time we saw Graf in the third set was against Zina Garrison, Wimbledon semifinal, and Zina won that 6-4 in the third. But it's so rare for her to play 3 sets.
I think the meter for Capriati and how tired she gets, her feet get louder.
Doesn't pick them up?
Well, yeah, you know, they really slap down on the old concrete. The thing is, you know, she's been coming into net a lot. Graf has drop shotted her more than anyone I have ever seen her play. And so, you know, just watch how Capriati runs up for that drop shot. And if she gets to the ball, Capriati on the drop shot, then you have to see what she does with the ball.
Uh-oh, all she has to do is... And she didn't return it. That was a gift from Graf. And Jenny said no thanks. Oh, does that hurt? Is that painful?
Graf loses her racket on the serve, and what a crack on the hard true.
Any return would have taken Jennifer to double break point. Any return.
Well, the thing is, you take your eye off the ball for a minute just to see what that was, and in just that split second, she hit the ball in the net.
Now, Graf babied the volley before that error.
Well, she pushed it. Graf just pushed that ball and let Capriati back into the point because she could chase it down.
So it is break point. Service winner.
You know, 1 minute you're thinking, gosh, was Steffi tired on that volley? Is that why she pushed it? Well, then she, like, bombs in a serve like that, and it doesn't look like a very tired serve to me. And usually it's the serve and the overhead that go first when you're tired. Because the serve takes the most out of you. You really have to lift your arms up there and keep them up.
Net cord helps Capriati.
Net cord and the fact that Graf did not hit a very short drop shot. Watch the depth on this. It is almost near the service. It's almost on the service line. And then she gets the lucky let cord, and here she has the winner. Oh,
Ace.
great serve.
Eight.
2 love.
Well, Capriati is hanging in here pretty good. She manages to get this one back. Now, watch her footwork. It's pretty good here. She runs one-handed backhand, but Graf is right on top of the net and hits the winner.
Boy, that fourth point of the game, though, which should have been Capriati's for a 15-40 lead when Graf dropped her racket, that was important.
Yeah.
Well, that top spinner got her. That rolled.
Now, this is an important game, Bud, because that game either took a lot out of Graf or it took a lot out of Capriati. And this is where you're going to see what really the physical conditioning of both players. Yes? I'll tell you one thing, a volley is a good way to save yourself some energy because you come in, you make the approach shot, and you're saying, here he goes, here's my volley. Winner, points over. And then you can take your time walking back to the baseline.
Well, this is a big game for Jennifer, no doubt. As you said, Joanne, she doesn't want to go down 3-0 on 2 breaks.
Absolutely not.
That helps.
Actually, Capriati has used that serve quite a number of times in the 3 sets. The second serve going wide to Graf's forehand because when Steffi takes her split step, she's already splitting in the direction of the backhand to run around it. Oh, baby.
Oh, that's not up, calls the umpire.
Great drop shot.
Jim Dunlap, and that is her best dropper of many very good ones.
Absolutely. And the thing that makes it so effective, she looks like she's hitting a regular slice backhand, instead just pulls up on it. Bingo. That was a great drop shot.
30-all. Second serve. It's time. Just wide. Drop, and Steffi Graf ahead 2-1. Final set on a service break over Temeshvari and Zrubakova. 4-6, 6-2, 6-2.
Ooh.
15 love.
Well, you know, the old foot slap meter I was telling you about, Capriati, that was a very tired feet running up for that drop shot. Because that was not a good drop shot by Graf. It was a little bit too deep.
Strong game for Steffi Graf. 3-1 is her lead.
She leads 3-1.
Elena Sukova winning the doubles. That's her second Mahwah title. She won in 1988 with Jana Novotná. Pavel Slojzl, the Czechoslovak who coaches Steffi Graf, does it very well. Former Davis Cup player for Czechoslovakia, now retired from the circuit. Graf is not happy despite leading.
No, she's just not happy the way she's missing so many forehands. something Tom Gullickson's been working on. Change of pace, and that definitely was a change of pace live.
Well, she needs it. She's
Getting a
been
little
pretty
tired,
much
yeah.
a one-speed hitter, and she's young. She's young.
Oh, baby. Graf doesn't look very tired from the speed of this forehand. She just powers it by Capriati.
30-15. It's long. So another sticky game for the generator. It's long. It was a late call, but confirmed by umpire Jim Dunlap. It's 40-30. Jerry James on that baseline was correct in his call, I believe. He was at least for Jennifer. That's her first. And so it is.
Probably the peak of our program, you know, with the junior team funneling up to the touring pro area.
So Tom Gullickson is here in an advisory role to Jennifer Capriati. And Steffi Graf with her third double fault, hanging on to a 6-3, 5-7, 3-2 lead. Pressed every second by the 14-year-old. Well, Graf got the baseline, but her forehand is misfiring. As strong as it is, as lethal as it is.
Capriati didn't like the fact that she had to win the point twice.
Capriati felt the ball was out at her baseline.
But it was out.
Well, we're kind of far, Joanne.
No, but it was. I could see. I'm better at far.
Oh, you okay?
Oh, look, I can even see there, and it's barely in view.
Thank you, Eagle Eyes. That's out.
Now, I can't see that. That's under.
Okay.
That's out of my sight.
All right. But anyway, it's difficult times for both right here. Graf clinging to a 3-2 lead, 30 all. Final set. You love to get those kind when the serve doesn't come back. And perhaps the serve has been the difference, Joanne. Graf with her 7 aces, half dozen service winners. That's out.
Well, the serve and sometimes the return of serve, because Graf makes her return of serve an offensive weapon. Either you're falling back on your heels or she hits a winner. So those two things are really in Graf's favor. But during the match, she's made a lot of unforced errors. I mean, she usually does, but more so. Her lock on that spot. And the thing is, you can tell Capriati is tired because that drop shot was a little deep. And when she came in, her approach shot was too short. I mean, if she'd forced it and put it right on the line, that puts Graf in a little more defensive position. Great serve, great serve. And it's a great serve because pressure situation, and then you can serve a big one. Hey, anybody can serve a big one when it's 30-all first game in the match.
Ace!
Oh, baby.
You can say that. Number 8. So Graf has a 4-2 lead.
He leads 4-2.
Third double fault for Capriati.
Right, please.
Not a bad effort. I mean, I really like it that she's really trying something different, but her approach shot is too short, and it's not going to work against the #1 player in the world.
Well, I remember the Family Circle Cup just last spring at Hilton Head, and Capriati was moving on toward her second professional final. She lost it to Martina Navratilova. Steffi Graf couldn't be there because she'd been injured earlier in the year, and so we no call, and that is a break for Capriati. It appeared to be a fault.
30-all.
Well, that was pretty close, and one thing, Graf didn't argue the call.
No.
So
I talked to Steffi on the phone that week, and I said, are you, like everyone else, interested in what this kid Capriati's doing? She said, not at all. She wasn't going to get involved in that yet, but now she's seen her a couple of times and knows that Capriati's a challenger.
Oh, baby.
Oh!
Yeah. Well, Graf may be overusing this drop shot a little bit, but the thing is, Graf makes a mistake with the drop shot, but she's right there to block it back. But Capriati has the reactions to stay in the point and win it.
It's a lead on the first serve, 40-30. Capriati was down love 30. Every time it looks as though she's going to slide out of the match, she pulls up close.
Steffi making this girl suffer today. She's saying, well, you may be 14, but you're going to run your buns off today.
Yeah. And
I mean, Graf looks pretty fresh over there.
Nearly 2 hours on this steaming hard court.
Beauty, what an angle.
Capriati.
140 they've played.
Yes.
Oh. So Capriati hangs on to Graf's ponytail. It's 4-3 for Graf.
Graf leads 4-3.
So we got a quickie quiz for you. Are you Capriati?
Run out of Wilkins.
And she is having a conversation with umpire Jim Dunlap. Let's try to listen. I don't know what there's Steve Capriati, Jennifer's brother, who's watching from a platform. Graf needs managed to hold serve twice, and she's the champion here in Mahwah for a 4th time. Well, Steffi has called herself stupid at least 3 times in this match.
Well, she sort of has overused the drop shot. But, you know, the thing is, when she's got somebody on the run, you know, why is she pulling up a drop shot when she can just bang it?
That's why she said stupid. Oh! Wow, that looked like a liner.
No, it was just out, bud.
But it was called wide, and that man has a better view than I do. Stefano Capriati, the father with Denise, the mother. Nope.
Oh, that was a smart play, though.
Sure was. Graf's 4th double fault. Oh, boy, I thought she had the ace. I thought that was number 9.
Well, Steffi must have thought so, too. She's right up here at the net arguing.
You have no idea.
Fault was called. Steffi questions it, then goes back to work. Second serve. 30 all. 4-3. And a break point.
But then, Bud, did you see that? Capriati, instead of booming it, I don't know if it's because she's tired or she's thinking, geez, I got to change the pace now that we're in the 3rd set and that's almost coming to an end. She looped that ball in there, and Graf hit that backhand from above shoulder height and made the error. And that's what Sabatini does to her all the time. Ball's always up around her ears.
Ace. They got the 9th ace there. And when she needed it. But another break point. Another deuce. And another break point, and another forehand error. 3rd break point of the game for Jenny.
tired because this time Capriati has the jump on the ball, but she just doesn't want to use her one-handed slice. This time she tries to go for something with her two-handed backhand. It didn't work.
Third deuce, longest game of the afternoon.
Out.
And with a clear open court, Graf takes herself instead to break point 4 of the game. Graf breaks herself, and this match again is dead even. Stretch run, 4 games all, final set. Capriati once again coming out of losing position.
Final, please. Thank you.
Tennis Association computer or in their official statistics, a special event, but you can see it means something to these women.
I told you, Bud, women do not give up easily in a special event.
It's out.
Precious few events like this are around. You know, men have the big money all the time, and the women, they say, hey, it's here, we're going to play for it. I'm not going to share with anybody. I want it.
Jennifer wins. She says, I don't care if it doesn't count on the computer. I know I beat her. And Steffi will know she lost.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
15-30.
Long and break point. Break point. And break. And so Steffi Graf once again in charge, knowing her heels have been nipped at, not only nipped at, but her sneakers practically divided for these people on the eve of the U.S. Open.
Well, actually, I don't think it would be so bad for Graf, but it might be bad for Capriati because I don't know, you know, if she gets a little higher or lower after wins or losses, and that's the key. Graf pretty much stays the same. You know, a win or a loss, doesn't matter where it is. She goes, well, it's a tournament. Hey, I lost it. Too bad.
Graf going for the title, which would be her 4th. Pathmark Classic.
I mean, but that really is such a plus for Steffi. I mean, she may go home and feel worse about the tournament than she lets on in front of the players in the locker room. But she really treats it in front of the press and the players very much, well, it's a tournament. It's a loss, it's a win. Great drop shot.
Opens it up for that rolling backhand, which she hasn't showed much of today.
Now, I think that's about the 3rd or 4th time she's used it the entire match. It's almost 2 hours. 3 times she's hit a top spin backhand. Here it is. And she can hit it. Look at this. Great shot.
30 love. Graf 2 points away, second serve.
Oh.
Well, that forehand of Graf hit the base most
wins the match
difficult
2-1.
Mahwah title. Steffi Graf has won the path mark. 6'3", 5'7", 6'4". You can see why we call Jennifer Capriati the generator, the prodigy, and we shall return to Mahwah in just a moment to talk to both of them.